All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, just a tad little, some technical difficulties, but we figured it out real fast. And welcome everybody to the Sweaty Synergy Esports presenting the Sauna, and we're featuring a well-known guest, the Seeker. So, Night Raid, I seem to be the only one sharing my camera today, so.
Oh, I'm coming. Well, all right. So welcome everybody.
We don't need to hear that. This is a PG show.
Welcome everybody. PG-13, sir. Welcome everybody to the Sauna podcast. I am your host, Night Raid. I have with me my cohorts, Woody and the Secret with his loud ass fan. We have our special guest today at Seeker. This is his second appearance on our show, and we are super excited to have him today. We have great topics to talk about as well as a couple surprises for y'all. So this is going to be a very sweaty show. So
let's start off. That we have to give a shout out to our brand new sponsor.
Absolutely, our brand new sponsor, Epic Esports Live. They are a company that will be pretty much or similar to what SportsCenter does for sports, but for esports. So they're going to be covering many different genre of games. So if you want to watch highlights as well as hear about content and talk about it, that's definitely something that you definitely want to go check out. And you can follow them on Twitter at Epic Esports Live.
Absolutely.
All right. So awesome. So let's get into it, guys. First topic of the day today is going to be about the recap on Battle Gym Part 7. What did you guys think about the event as itself? Was it a surprise that Hammers won, or did you feel like Hammers is the most dominant team right now? Let's start with Seeker, our guest.
Well, I wouldn't say that it was necessarily a surprise, but I do think that as time moves forward, the paradigm is definitely going to be Sweaty Synergy and Hammers going back and forth one-on-one. You both have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that you guys are equals. And especially now that Skyrose has been dissolved, there's no other team to really contest against them right now at this exact moment. I think in the near future there will be, but at this exact moment, you two are definitely the Titans clashing against each other, and it could go any way on any given day. So I won't say so much as a surprise, but it's definitely, you never really know how it's going to go.
Okay. So I mean, you don't consider Fairy Tail in that conversation for the top two teams
yet. And the only reason why I say that is it's a matter of play synergy.
Right.
You guys have been playing together a while. Hammers has been playing together a long while. Fiery Tail's still kind of incorporating the pieces that they were able to acquire. It takes time to get that familiarity playing with each other. Do I think they're going to be on that level? Absolutely. Do I think they'll be on that level by the Invitational? Absolutely. Do I think they were there this last week? No, but I didn't really expect them to be because it takes time.
Right.
I can definitely agree with that taking time because I know for us, it took us a while, and I'm glad, but I'm not that there wasn't I guess, a competitive scene that was more reoccurring because it really gave us time to really dive deep and grind and keep our heads down and keep working hard. And then when the tournaments came around, I felt like we were prepared to enter the arena with the top team. So I was very happy for that. What's your take on it? I know you casted the whole event. You got to see just about every match. What was your take as far as the Battleship Part 7?
So it's I don't think it was a surprise at all to have um, them in the finals with Phenoms. Although I did predict that Firetail, I thought Bellevue would have actually pulled it out and took themselves to the finals this time around. But I was wrong, and shit happens, and so be it. But no surprise that they would have been like if they would have lost to Bellevue, then they would have been easily third place. But that didn't happen, and they ended up winning the whole thing. So I think a lot had to do with the fact that meta changed. Had the meta not changed, then you probably would have saw Phenoms take it again over Hammers. But something did change, and it was the meta with the pilots. And the pilots are just slightly are different, or even more than slightly different than whatever the default was prior to the update, right? So I think that played a huge effect. I think when you're not used to like your pilot losing the jetpack so early, or maybe they're slower or faster, right? Like that plays a huge effect in what you've been playing for however long, right? So we've been playing since January, December around that, and we're used to the way these pilots fly and move and everything else because everything was default. And now it's all different. And I know Hammers had to deal with the same thing, but these guys are great at this game, so that's kind of a non-issue. Not that Phenoms is bad at this game either, but they've just been around longer, so they've had I don't know. I just feel like maybe they have that extra bit of edge where Phenoms did not. So, but not overly surprised that they made it to the finals. I thought it was going to get more into a game 7 than it did, but it was close enough.
I mean, you definitely brought up some great points, especially about like the pilot stats. To where I know as a Dominion main, not being able to one shot a lot of pilots, like that definitely kind of hurt.
Oh
To
yeah,
where,
absolutely. I
that
forgot even to
definitely
mention that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it changes the way that you have to kind of play to a degree. So I think loadouts. I think players you're gonna start seeing players with different loadouts than what you're accustomed to seeing them with, to kind of rectify that. You understand that a one shot's not gonna happen, especially with a
absolutely.
Dominion or Secret. What was your take?
Yeah, I wasn't really. I would say I
Paying
guess
attention.
surprised uh, by anything as far as like the actual teams going into the finals. Just because I have a lot of respect for Hammers. I mean, I think they're organization. So and then obviously I thought the brackets were kind of they matter. What side you go on and stuff. So sweaty synergies, like I said, it really wouldn't matter what bracket they got into, in all fairness. But seeing who they were kind of lined up against, I already knew they were going to go to finals. It's just who was on, let's say, the other side. But Hammers going into it and taking it, also not a surprise. It's not that Sweaty Synergy, they're a lesser team or anything. It's just Hammers. It's just they've been there longer. They know how to get back there when they're down, and they've proven that. That's the thing. Like even if they lose tournament, one of them, it doesn't matter. Like the next week, you just cannot count them out. They just have that ability to kind of readjust. So yeah, no surprises really.
Awesome. So would you say I mean, like last week last week we talked about whether the pilot selections was really going to matter. Do you guys feel like it was a huge difference in the way teams played or the results? As far as, let's say, the final results, right? Do you think that had any impact?
Sorry, repeat the question one more time.
Do you think because of the change in meta, do you think it had an impact in the standings or the results of part 7?
Absolutely. I don't think people had enough time to figure out what is the best meta. Oh man, I can't remember her name. The one who looks like
Yumeko?
Yumeko. Yeah,
Or Rogue?
I think yeah, Yumeko. I think that you're gonna start seeing her more and more as the ball carrier, as that kind of player. She's super fast. I need to pull up her stats, so if you give me a second. But
Yeah, she's my favorite.
I found like, if you look at some of the top players in the game, like Elsif, although he is apparently overrated by a few people. Not going to list names, but that's what we hear. Word on the street is he was using her. So Elsif's going to take the time into looking into stats and playing around a bit, and that was his choice. And there was a few other people that did the same thing, and so you're going to see, and this is what I talked about last week, was I don't think pilot bans should be in there, because you're going to start seeing what pilots are the best for what. And you're going to automatically know that, okay, well, we have like 2 Yumikos, so that means, either those people are going to have to be ball carriers, so we have to be careful of those people. Or this and that. So I really, like, it's almost like you're identifying the positions, which is cool. So, but yeah, I think absolutely pilots had a huge effect. The new metas had a huge effect on last week's Battle Ball TPG.
What do you think, Steeker?
I mean, I knew it was going to have an effect. I don't think everybody's completely solved it yet. I mean, definitely for different modes, different pilots are going to be better. And it's almost opposite in a lot of ways, where the characters that are really good for Battle Ball are not as nearly as good for TDM. That's just, there are certain different attributes that you need in your heroes depending on the mode that you're playing. Like, even if you're not playing a ball carrier role, having that one character be slower than another just makes a world of difference in terms of being able to be kited or just various other things. So the heroes pretty much shaped up how I expected it to go. I mean, I know there are certain heroes who are going to see more play for Battle Ball than others. It's a pretty clear situation where I can think of 3 specifically that will be played among all others. The issue I think that you're going to run into, though, is, do all the pros have all of these pilots? Because I don't think that's the case, especially for some of the not top 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. I know there's players that were on Skyros that didn't have every weapon unlocked or every hero unlocked. And if they don't have everything completely unlocked, what's to think that somebody who isn't at that level is going to?
Right.
I mean, that makes up a very valid point. So do you think you'll start seeing players or teams spend money to buy Paragons or buy pilots?
I know that is the end result of this, yeah.
I think it was yesterday or last night I saw Yumeko in the store for 3,500 Paragons, which is, I think, the highest Paragon that I've seen, or cost that I've seen for Paragons for a single item in the game so far.
Yeah. Pilots are definitely pricey.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's 3,500. I mean, so I know $20 gets you what, 2,400 Paragons, right, or something like that.
$20 gives you 2,500.
2,500. So they're saying that pilot is worth about $30, a little bit more, right? So
for what pilot was it? What pilot was it?
Yumeko.
Yumeko.
Yumeko. So,
Uh,
what if you try to buy Jackal though? Like, is Jackal a possibility? To just
I
buy
would
out?
imagine the Paragon is going to be based on the rarity of the pilot, like just like anything else. So I think Yumeko's an epic. Jackal, I believe, is an epic. So it just depends on what rarity the pilot is and to how much Paragon's going to cost.
Secret, what was your take on it? You were involved in the battle gym. Let's talk about how it affected you guys and or if it had any effect, and what's your insight on it?
Yeah, so we spent time on it, definitely as far as like game planning. But at the end of the day, I feel like we, as a team, we decided to go with whatever pilot you were most comfortable with. Was kind of the way that we were going to attack it. Just because if you're comfortable, you're going to play better. So we really didn't ask, let's say, our pilots or our team members to kind of change their ways if they weren't really let's say comfortable with it, right? I felt like we would have played sloppier. So for the most part, I mean, it affected us, but not too much because we were able to find pilots relatively pretty quickly that kind of complemented our play style. But yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot less one taps, just because of a lot more players have more health. So it affected things, but I would say not as much as it's going to this time because now people are going to be able to study a lot more. And who's to say they don't change their pilots consistently depending upon which teams they're playing, which I think you're going to see that a lot more this time than, let's say, you stick with who you like.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to come down to now pilots being switched up every map.
Right.
And also depending on which team you are playing and their play style to kind of counter them as much as you can, right? So yeah, I mean, I personally thought it had a tremendous effect, especially the way teams try to approach other teams.
Right.
Like I said, I know for us, me being a Dominion player, like it was hard for me to one-shot people and create breakaway opportunities like we are accustomed to. But I even for myself and all the time I've spent trying to make the right compositions or the right calls for pilots, I know I haven't even I know I'm still just at the tip of the iceberg as far as trying to figure out this meta as a whole. So I know I have a lot of work to do still, so I can only imagine from the time that I actually spend to what other people spend if they figured it out. Or I'm pretty sure they still haven't figured it out completely yet either. I doubt, just like Seeker said, I doubt anybody has completely figured out this meta yet. So I think, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anyone think there's like one in particular pilot that's OP? Like just based on stats, absolutely. I don't. Oh yeah, I'm interested.
I think it's definitely up there. Yeah,
it's
for sure. For sure.
Why would you say that? Why do you think so?
The speed, the it's not even, it doesn't have to be a lot more health. It's that 10 extra. That's really all you need. I think honestly anything more than that, it's great, right? But it doesn't really matter. You have so much balance where the speed is huge. You still have that jet fuel there. That jet fuel, I think honestly is kind of especially on certain maps, man, that I feel like can be more powerful than, let's say, for example, let's say to the health even, right? So that balance right there is just, you're just not going to find that in another pilot. I would say maybe the other guy is the what's the guy? The guy, I can't remember.
Ramirez?
Yeah, Ramirez.
I was going to say, Ramirez has the same amount of health, but 15 more shield. And I guess just slightly, well, whatever 7
but less
means.
Speed. And that's the thing that kills Ramirez is he's slower.
Yeah, but it's in the game. I think if you're good at bunny hop, you notice it, right? Let's not even pretend like it's not a factor, but it's doable. Let's say Yumeko, though, by far that's my number 1 vote. Number 2, I'd go with Ramirez, and I would say obviously it's going to be dependent upon playstyle as well, right? But those two right there, those are my big ones.
But you're not gonna have so this is what I was saying before, is that you're not gonna have an entire team of Yumekos.
I don't know.
In Battle Ball.
Yeah. Why not?
You very well could in Battle Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you're having someone that's got like low shield, so you would want someone like who maybe is more defensive and running. Like let's talk about Jetpack. Jetpack uses the Havoc a lot. right? He's
Yeah.
more of a backline player, just clearing the lanes, ensuring like people don't get around. So why wouldn't you see him running around with Ramirez? He doesn't necessarily need the speed. He just needs the extra little beef behind it so that he has the shield and a little bit of that, but he doesn't need the speed. So why wouldn't
I would say for that, look at why don't you look at the stats for Rogue?
Yeah.
Rogue's much better as a defender because in battle ball, speed kills. Everything matters. Speed matters more than anything because you need to be able to stop a breakaway when it happens.
Mhm.
So you get a lot of the same benefits to the heaviers with Rogue because she gets the extra shield.
Well, then you might as well go with Anna then, because Anna's got the same shield but more fuel then.
It's all about
She doesn't
balance,
have the same
I
shield.
think.
Rogue has
Yeah.
65 shield.
Yeah.
What is Anna
It's all
then?
about balance. And obviously your
Anna has 50.
playstyle matters.
Oh, okay. I must have wrote it down wrong then, because I have her listed here as 65.
So I remember. I don't know if anybody is a his big history buff. I know
Yeah, you
Alexander the Great. I know Alexander the Great was all about speed with his military. He said speed conquers all. And I mean, I think especially for Batable, I think it is right. Like speed definitely matters in this game because like I said, I've done testing for the 0.5 difference in speed, and it is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It is huge. I won't tell you exactly the distance that you can go from one side of the map to the other for a 0.75 to or 7.5 to a 7, but it is definitely, you can definitely see the difference if you run your own test on it. So
I would say
I mean, I know the feel of the pilot, it was a lot more smoother for me for a 7.5 to a 7 as well. So I would almost value that speed over having the shield, personally.
Yeah, you know what? Here's my question: I would be interested almost in the stat before we did a change, which pilot was the rarest? Because it almost feels like Yumeko was pretty rare. I never really saw her that much, to be honest, especially in comps or anything, right? And I wonder if that's kind of why I'm not saying that they made her OP because that's not the case. But in my opinion, she's number one. She has exactly what you're looking for, and I would be kind of shocked if they didn't do something eventually.
So I don't know if anybody ever follows me on Twitter or listen to my little chats here and there on the Armajet Discord.
I completely ignore everything you say.
I know that for the past couple months, I said one pilot that needs some love is Yumeko, and I'm so glad that they actually gave her some love in this update because she hasn't gotten any new skins. Like it wasn't a pilot that you normally saw people run.
No,
Yumeko.
Well, no, I only just got her recently, so that's why you're not seeing that pilot. Is just like to what Seeker was saying. It's not everyone has everything.
Well, I mean, even if you look at the chat, there's some people on here. Andy's pretty, Casey even. There's a lot of people that play. Let's just call it that way, right? A lot of pilots don't. I don't have her. I don't have her, and I would have to agree with what Andy said right now. If he had her, he'd use her. Same, exact same. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would honestly even change my play style around her just because I feel like she has by far the best amount of, best amount of tools. And I'm sure everything's evenly divided, but some things just matter more.
So do you think, like, let's go back to the question that we had last week. We've seen them played now for about a week and a little bit.
Right.
Should there be bans for this?
Oh, you know what, Woody? Eventually. I was just gonna say this because I remember having this conversation with you last week. I still stand by what I said. I don't think there should be, but I'm curious. Like now that we've seen it for a week, should there be bans? And let's start with Seeker on this because he wasn't here on the show last week, so I definitely would like a fresh take on it.
So I think inevitably there will be a point where bans have to happen on pilots. I don't think we're necessarily there yet because I mean, it would be silly not to assume that there's not additional pilots at some point going to come down the line. Like that's
hopefully it's this guy right here. I'll spend $30. Kima, I'll spend $30 to get him. I'm just saying, I'll do it. I've had this guy for a while. He's my guy.
But the thing is,
he better be OP too.
I think we need more of a pilot pool. Because right
Yeah.
now, I would argue to say that you have 4 pilots that tend to be a little better in TDM, 4 pilots that tend to be a little better in Battle Ball, and at that point, all you're doing is just restricting the amount of bodies or pilot types that you're going to see. I mean, one of the things that people didn't really talk about, they talk about 7.5 is faster than 7. Yeah, that's true. But 7.5 is essentially the value that live was before the pilot change. Everyone else is just slower. So
yeah.
essentially what you're doing is you're affecting muscle memory on the slower characters as well.
Yep.
Right.
Because you're used to being able to clear a cliff at a certain time. You're
Yep.
used to being
That's a
able
big
to
deal.
go up a certain height. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So I think there will come a time, but right now we're just not there yet. I think we probably need another 4 to 5 more pilots before that would have to happen.
Do you think there's going to be 4 to 5 more pilots for Armored Jet?
I would think it would be silly not to think that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the time frame, I have no idea how fast it's going to be, but I think inevitably we'll. It's like saying, will there be more maps? Yeah, eventually. I mean, it's hard not to say that eventually there won't be more maps. Eventually, there's going to be maybe even new weapons, maybe even new secondaries or ultimates. I mean, those are the kind of things that logically progress in a game over time. How soon they're going to happen, who knows? But I do think that you do have to prepare for that.
So let's talk, right? So I know the global launch was in October of 2019, correct? If I'm not mistaken,
That's
I believe
correct,
it was
yes.
October, right? So we are in June now. What are we? June 20th, 21st?
20th.
So it's been what, 8 months? I would say for the 8 months from the time that it's globally launched to when I've seen it, because like I said, I started playing end of November. So from that time to now, I would say, I mean, they've added a good amount of content for a game that's rarely ever advertised, and two, like for a game
It's
that I
not
guess
pay to play.
right that's not pay to play, to where they have to spend time and manpower to create these things. I think they've done a pretty good job as far as trying to keep things fresh to a degree.
Is it too much though? Are they doing too much, do you think?
No, I definitely think there's still things that they can do to pique people's interest a little bit more, but that's just my personal opinion. But before I personally think the next big move for them should be maybe getting another server or upgrading their server, doing something with the server, because I have personally noticed a lot more of frag sniping, I guess, to where now I've seen snipers being able to hit frag or hit grenades. I've seen Havocs being able to take out grenades. And I've seen that a lot more recently since this update than it was before.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not sure if that was meant to be a part of the game or if that is just more of a server glitch.
So I can actually answer that. Explosions have always been able to pop other explosives. Like that's one of the actual real fun things that you used to be able to see a lot. Let's go back to TFL 1 and the Tribe Tourney. Delike was known to be one of the best Nightfall players. Delike and Lucas were obviously the best 2 Nightfall players, and probably still are. But one thing you could do is if you had EMP in your loadout, you could throw the EMP at the ground to pop the Nightfall and not die.
Okay,
because the EMP was an explosive, so it popped the other explosive. As a frag, you can use a Havoc, you can use a Leviathan, you could use Badger, theoretically, to do the same thing. If an explosive goes into the range of another explosive, it'll pop.
So like a frag could cancel out a frag, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for everybody
But in a bad circumstance, let's say you're throwing a frag and I'm throwing a frag and my frag got closer to you first and mine blows up, mine can blow yours up, killing
you. Right. So, because if it's blowing up in your face, you're still going to take damage, right?
But then let's say you're even holding it, like you're getting ready to throw it, but you haven't thrown it yet. you'll still
Right.
take damage from your frag being too close to the explosion, plus
Plus,
mine, and you'll end
oh,
up dying.
because that frag detonated your frag.
Exactly.
Ah,
And
got it.
I've died with the frag in my hand cocked back, and it doesn't do anything though.
it's really finicky.
Yeah.
It's really finicky. Like I can go over. We've tested this at length, Woody. And like it's literally to the point where it's about 3 or 4 frames that you have to be over at a certain point to get it to trigger. Usually, it happens when somebody's throwing it and you have something else popping it. Or
Okay.
I have a clip I can show you at some
I've
point
seen
where
it.
I'm
It has to. From what I've seen, is that it has to actually like leave my hand for it to actually happen.
So for those of you that haven't seen on stream yet, we did start a poll about should there be pilot bans. Definitely, you should answer. You should vote on that, so that way we can
I'm
get
watching. I'm
feedback,
watching the
guys.
voting live right now. I just posted that up. So if you feel like there should be bans for pilots, hit exclamation point vote space vote yes, or exclamation point vote space exclamation point no. So.
And Seeker Benji Bit said, "Seeker, you're supposed to be retired, you boomer."
You don't think
His
All
opinion
right.
still matters.
So our next topic.
Speaking of boomers,
go ahead,
hang on a sec. Speaking of boomers and things like that, huge shout out to all the gamer dads that are on here right now.
Yes.
Because Father's Day is tomorrow. I think actually everyone on this podcast right now is actually a father. So, hello, my son.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to everyone else.
Happy Father's Day to Seeker for having Benji.
Yeah.
You know what the sad part about that is that that's actually wifey posting.
I know,
Right.
I know. Well, then happy Mother's Day back in, was it May?
She's here to support you, man.
Yeah.
That's a great wife. All right, so the next topic is we definitely just got a brand new sponsor, or our first sponsor. Again, that is Epic Esports Live. We are thrilled to be in partnership with them. I think this company has a great idea and what they want to do, and we are here to make sure that we can do whatever we can to promote for them. So we have the Secret here with us. He actually is affiliated with that company as well. So we'll actually let him take up some time and talk about it.
Yeah, so without giving too much away, because we're trying to obviously build a lot of momentum to the first episode, which is going to be July 19th, that will be streamed live on Twitch. So the concept basically came from it's basically it's filling a need right now that we feel it's pretty important. It's a sports center, but for esports. There's just not really someone dominating that market. And long story short, I ended up being really well connected. I have a buddy on, a few companies that does pretty well for himself, and he likes to diversify. So he saw what was going on with social media. And for those of you who know, I've recently started streaming, and he he actually ended up stumbling upon one of my streams and started watching it. And his words exactly were, he ended up hating the game that I was streaming, but he said, if you can make a game that boring, somewhat entertaining, I need to talk to you. So me and him started talking, so I'm pretty happy with going with them. So like I said, I'm actually going to be part of the broadcast team, me and another member that I know extremely well. We just have a lot of energy. And what it is this, the way that we're going about it is just pretty unique. We're actually just out there right now, currently just building a lot of relationship with streamers. Just because if anyone's out there, anyone ever tried to build a stream, it's an uphill battle to get your own following, to get. Yeah, it's tough, and it's really time consuming. And here's the thing that we believe as far as a philosophy: the people with the most viewers are not the best streamers in our core concept, like company's opinion, right? So because of that, really the way that we're going about this is we're building relationships with low to medium, let's say, followings, right, of streamers, people that we believe that need to be showcased. And that's really what we're building the business model around. It's obviously a lot of highlight streams, but it's a lot of other things that we have in the works. And really what we're about is giving back to the community. We feel like there's a need. We feel like the top people with the most amount of viewers are not the best representation of what it means to be in an amazing community. And that's really what we look for, is we look for fan engagement. We look for, the quality of stream. We just look for so many things, and really what it's going to come down to is this, and this is like our core philosophy, right? If you follow a streamer, does it feel like a family when you come in? And if it doesn't, like, sincerely, we love you, we love your stream, but we want nothing to do with it, because we want to promote people that if you go in and join their stream, you're going to feel like something bigger. You're going to feel, you're not going to get that quick. And if you guys are on Twitch, you guys know exactly what we're talking about, where you go and follow them. And not only sometimes it just doesn't even pop up anymore. Like, there's no thank you, there's nothing. You're just a number. But not only that, even if they do give you a thank you, it's like a quick thanks, man. And it's like, you're nothing. It's over. Like, there's no engagement to the chat. So we're really about showcasing the people that are doing it right, showcasing the people that are doing, basically building a family. And that's what we want to do. We just felt like there was a need. We felt like a lot of these people are working their butts off and they're not getting love.
Nice.
So we're really, what our heart's about, it's about giving. And that's the way we're going to build it. And like I said, we have a lot of other amazing plans that I just can't share yet. But just know, from the core company standpoint, what we're doing is it's all about giving. We feel, as a company standpoint, one of the best things, like I said, that buddy of mine who actually owns this company now, the way he kind of lives his life is life supports life that supports other life. And that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go support other life out there, and everything else will take care of itself.
I mean, I think that's awesome.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, I remember having this conversation with you when the opportunity first came.
Yeah.
And I thought it was amazing what you guys are trying to do, and you know what your mission is. And I said, any way that we can kind of support you guys, just let me know. I know for you it's a big opportunity because you want to get into streaming and
Right.
being more of a personality, and
Right.
I told you that I would support you no matter what when you first brought brought the attention to me that you kind of wanted to go that way.
Mhm.
So I am very happy for you and proud of you. Although I know eventually I'll probably lose you to that company full time. Hopefully not, but
What?
I
That's
mean,
horseshit.
hopefully not, but right. But for me personally, I told you personally, I want what's best for you, just like I want what's best for anybody that's affiliated with Sweaty Synergy Esports. I definitely believe in the family core values. You should definitely take care of the people that have been there and supported you from the go, and that is willing to bring in the same values to help you grow. So congratulations to you.
Thanks,
and Epic
Yeah,
Esports
absolutely.
Live. You want to go ahead and give them a plug as far as how to follow them on social media, where they can watch you guys, anything that you want to plug in there?
And
Yeah,
just
please.
I'm gonna just before you do that, Secret, I'm just gonna let
what-
people know that that I do have that. Unless you have more information, I have their Twitch and their Twitter information posting up as in the chat. If you want to find. And if you wanna find out what those links are, just ! sponsor as a command, and you'll also find that information. So I'll just do it for you folks. But go ahead, Secret.
Yeah, thank you guys. And like I said, just to take a quick second, what Nightrade's saying is not just saying. That conversation was 100% true. So I'm really proud and really happy to be a part of Synergy. Like I said, I'm also really excited, obviously, with the Epic Esports Live. I'm excited for the broadcasting role, but really I'm excited for what I would say the heart role, right? Where we stand as far as a company, what our mission philosophy is to empower viewers, but also to empower streamers. And I think when you do things from just a core philosophy, it kind of builds out, and it's beautiful. But yeah, to give that plug, like I said, guys, our first episode is going to be on July 19th. There's a full production team in the works, so we have a lot of things planned. Like I said, if you guys want, it'd be really, really appreciated. Like I said, the bigger this gets, the more plans, the more giving, the more we. And like I said, we're all about empowering good streamers, and hopefully you guys can connect with that. We want to make sure if you guys go view somebody, that you're getting plugged in with the right people. That everyone we recommend is going to be a family, and we're not going to recommend everyone. We're going to show a lot of clips, and then obviously recommend some people. But we have a lot of other things planned as far as sponsorships with tournaments, as far as all kinds of different things. But if you guys want to go ahead and show us some love, like I said, we'd love it for you guys to go ahead and follow our Twitch channel. That's where the first episode is going to be. You can follow us on Epic Esports Live. You should see it on the comments section. Also on the Twitter. We have a lot more things in the works, but like I said, as of right now, those are the only two because those are the ones that are going to be active. The website also, there's a lot of things. But right now, the Twitch is huge. If you guys could go follow us on there. If you don't have a Twitch, go and follow us on our Twitter account. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you guys on our first episode on July 19th.
Well, they do have a Twitch because they're watching us on Twitch.
Right.
And on Twitter, on Twitter they did post their first tweet today.
Oh yeah, that was. Yes, it was.
That promotional video I think is straight fire. Is dope. So definitely check them out on again at Epic Esports Live on both Twitter and Twitch. And we are excited to be in partnership with you guys.
Yeah, mutual. They're very much mutual with that meeting that we had.
Yes. All right. So next topic. I know I've been posting about this for the last couple of days, and I gave you guys some homework to do. Some of you guys followed. I mean, a couple. There might be a one or two that didn't quite finish their list, but let's go ahead and get it started.
Hey,
without
by the
further
way,
ado,
I haven't been in school since like high school, so I'm just saying I don't do homework.
So without further ado, Sweaty Synergy Esports, the Sauna casts, the podcast cast, Armajet Pilots Top 20.
Ooh.
And we'll start with we'll start with our guests.
Let's give a shout out to Resin for this idea here.
Yes,
that's a good one.
Yes, big shout out to Resin, because
or was it Archer or Resin? I'm pretty sure it was Resin.
it was Resin. It was
Okay, yeah, because Resin,
It was Resin.
yeah, because like that came out of nowhere. I'm like, this is amazing. This is a great idea, and huge shout out to him.
Yes, and I'm still Resin. If you're watching or you watch this on VOD, I am still waiting for your Reddit post, sir. I want to know the reasons why. So the basis of this top 20 is I told them, we talked about it within the staff, or I gave them instructions. I said I want a top 20 list. It doesn't have to be a reason why that they're there, and it does not need to be in order. If the person chooses to give a reason and list it in order, that is totally up to them. But just make sure, I think this is just a great opportunity to shout out players that have been grinding and that had put the dedication and time in to get recognized. So let's start with Seeker first. And Seeker, I just want to let you know, your wifey said if you are not number one, if you're not number one,
you can't go home.
If she's not number one, So
and my list isn't ranked. I mean, if I took the time, I could probably go through and rank it real quick. But the problem is that there's so many people that are really close in skill. Like 1 through 4 would be really hard to separate. 5 through 10 would be really hard to separate. 11 through 15 would be really hard to separate. And then 16 on would be really hard to separate. Like they're really chunked that way.
Yeah.
But for me, I just kind of went by orgs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to put some very specific people separately. Because they're not necessarily people that would be the first name out of people's mouths, but I really did dig them. From Hammers, I personally think Lucas, Elsif, and Inspiral. I mean, those three pretty well go without saying, especially given the fact that Inspiral has to deal with the lag coming from Australia that he does.
Yeah, big time.
Like, what he's able to do when given the conditions that he has, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to shout out Inspiral for last week's Battle Gem. If you did not see his, the Badger play, it was phenomenal. It was a great play.
I was trying to make a comment about, sorry to derail this, but
yes,
I was watching that match and I'm like, why does he have a Badger? Like, Badger does not come out in Battle Ball all that often, and for him to pull that out and play it as well as he has, it was and obviously helped the win against Phenoms. But that was uncommon.
It was huge.
uncommon.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Mhm.
Sorry, go on.
So sorry, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine, man. From Sweaty Synergy, I would say it's probably. I got to give love to my boy Draco. I'm always going to be loyal to my boys. There's no way around it. But also Night Raid, you're amazing. You have I banned you away the first time we played against each other for a reason.
I was quite surprised by that. By the way, like, whoa, they're banning Night Raid. What the hell's this? The new Fae,
the new target of everybody these days.
Yeah.
But Pilot, I think Pilot gets affected by proxy because him and Faye play very similarly.
Yeah.
And do a lot of the
100%.
same weapons. So you
get a 2-for-1
price of one.
Yeah.
Andy, I don't think it's a lot of credit. Like
Yep.
statistically,
Andy's
he's
a
one of the best
machine.
players you guys have.
Yeah.
And he caused some worry quietly among Braun and I when we would do an analysis. And obviously secret, like even outside of just play, what you've managed to do with icons. Like, you have to be on this list just for that.
Yeah. Sweet.
Fiery Tail, Benji and Archer, of course.
Mhm.
I've seen those two play at amazing levels for a long time, but Latex, Bleach, and Wolf Core are pretty freaking amazing as well. From the Terminus guys, Resin, Samo, and the like, all old timers. They've been around the game a lot. Even though you haven't seen them perform quite at the level I think they're ready to do, I think in the coming weeks as they get to play more together, because they really haven't played a lot together, I think that you'll see them play a lot better. But very specifically, and these are ones that I don't know if will be ever on everybody's list. I don't really think a lot of people give Noxus enough credit because Noxus is an incredibly talented player.
Yep.
You don't get to see that very often because he doesn't have a supporting cast often enough.
Mhm.
But
and
as
there's a
starting
reason
player,
why, though, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying that because back when Noxus was a tribe, he did really well. Like at one point, Noxus was a tribe, and they played really well together, and I got to see how well he could play.
Right.
The other one is the duo, and it's actually kind of funny because these two play together a lot, and one of them specifically said, "Well, I'm not going to end up on any lists," and I chuckled to myself when I read it. Unreal, EFX, and Zanzel.
Mm.
Those two are becoming quite the dynamic little duo in terms of how well they play together. Like they're I'm starting to see early markers.
I can
He's
see
not
that.
very.
And Caleb had.
He's
Yeah.
not very good in Valorant, though. I can vouch for that.
We're talking about Valorant.
Yeah, I know. I'm
So,
just
yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I do want to just say Unreal FX did come from Sweaty Synergy Esports.
Oh, shit! Unreal's online. He's watching this right now.
But
Damn.
He's right there. He's in.
yeah, but no,
I mean,
it's just, those two. Like, if there's anybody that I have on my, I want to watch to see how those two develop.
Yeah.
It's gonna be them. Like those two, the ceiling's really high for those guys, and I really looking forward to seeing what they can accomplish.
No, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic list you have there. Let's go to Secret.
Yeah, so I did a little bit. So I kind of wanted to do like a top, like I would say towards, let's say the middle, towards the end, it gets very clustered. Like it's almost like a traffic jam. But I did create a, let's say, a top 6 or top 8 list, and then after that I was like, man, this is getting too tough. So my number one player, just from what I've seen, and obviously this is all open to interpretation, is actually Bleach. So Bleach, I don't think is getting enough love, and obviously even in pickups, definitely a. But his aggression, his ability to kind of direct things in a way, right? Like I look for players that are making an impact, and he's one of those. Right after that, I would say was Lucas was my number 2, and like I say, here's the thing: Lucas and Bleach to me were like neck and neck with that. Was number 2. Number 3, I think, is going to surprise people, but it's actually Noxus. And I think it's because his gameplay alone makes him a great player. I think his mouth brings him down, but that just goes to show. Well, my point about that is this: I think that just goes to show how great of a player he actually is. But it's just, I think he gets himself into more trouble than what it's worth. So it's just after that, it gets a little clustered. Benji, I see.
Benji, Secret, are you going in order?
Yes.
So
wow.
I'm actually doing like these are top 8, but these 8, for example, are players that can is like they're inexchangeable. Does that make sense? So these aren't just like 1, 2, 3. These are like the top 8 that I say have to be in a discussion.
Okay.
So Benji was going to be in that 8. His comments are just unforgivable. So he's
Demoted.
Yeah, he pulled
She
an
gone.
Noxus, dude. Oh my god. No, just kidding. Then after that, other players I would say that would have to be in the discussion are players such as Faye. I think Faye, right, because of how much attention he I guess because of how much attention he has to get, I think it's almost silly if he's not in that discussion because teams literally have to plan around him.
100%.
So it's he's in there. Other player, Elsif. I know obviously we've joked around the past saying that he can be overrated, but just from what you've seen, I haven't seen that. And obviously I haven't been in this game too long, so I just have what's in front of me. He, in my opinion, is a player that definitely deserves to be in the top 10 contention. Other than that, Aimless Andy. So I could be very high on Andy, but here's the thing I'll say. I'm not going to back away from that one. I think if you play with him, he's just such a consistent player. And I think the thing, too, that people need to understand, if Andy, I think, almost got switched roles, I think he would get more love. But the role that he's playing right now, I don't know if it gives him as much attention as it should. He is a solid player that I think is like almost like a glue a lot of times. So I like Andy a lot. After that, I do have Benji in there, but he's right outside the 8. So he's like a silver medal. He's not in the gold medal competition anymore. He's just a silver. But he's I
only got 7. That would be number 7 for me that you listed.
Okay, well then here I'll put someone else just in there and make sure he's not in there. Okay. So I'm gonna go with Entyro and Draco to kind of finish it off. Then those two I think definitely need to be in the conversations as far as players. Then after that, like I said, it would definitely be Benji. He's an amazing player. Pilot I had. Then it was Eagle. Eagle actually, obviously I played with him a lot, but I don't think. His growth has been insane, honestly. He is the real deal. I'm very high on Eagle, man. He's been.
And if you don't know who Eagle is, he's referring to the Asian Eagle. Yes.
Yeah, he's growing into a hell of a player. And here's the thing too. I'm not just looking at right now. I'm looking at the players that are putting in times. Eagle's putting in time like if he just picked up the game yesterday, every day. So he is somebody that I'm just doing people a favor. That if trust me, you want to keep your eyes on him. He's a player that's there right now, but he's not done getting better. He's putting a lot of time in. Shoot, my list went away. Where is it? Then after that, I did have a surprise player. I don't know if too many people mentioned. So I have Red X Bull and Wolfcore. Red, I think, doesn't get enough attention at times. I think the thing with Red, he's kind of been inconsistent just from when I knew him when I was playing with him. But I feel like if he put more time in, or not just even right now, he's a top 20 player in my opinion. Wolfcore, then I have Copters. Copters, I think, is a really good player. I think I already said Inspiral, right?
Yes.
And then to finish it off, I had UB, Night Raid, and me.
So he's saying ubiquitous?
Yes. Yep. UB needs to be in the top 20. And Grievous barely missed out. That was a tough one.
And you said me? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, I made 2 lists so far. I made
How much?
3 lists so
How much
far.
did you pay him?
And
there was a lot of
secret,
talks.
and secret. I just want to make sure you said your name, right? You said
Yes, I did.
yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
100%.
barely making it in.
So you're still missing a few people here. You got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You still got 3 slots.
Okay, this is very easy for me then. Grievous, I think, is another player as well. D-Lock was one that it was right outside.
Who?
So D-Like?
D-Like?
Yeah, there you
D-Like.
go. Yeah.
Okay. And one more.
Let's see. And then I know, where was my last one? No, I have a few. I've had to delete some because,
I think Casey's
I'm
waiting
sorry,
for his
no.
name to be called.
He's just, dude, I've talked to Casey several times. He's right there, man. He's literally, like, I would say within that 20 to 25. I think if Casey obviously if he increased his shooting ability, he would not just be in the top 20. He would, like, leapfrog a ton of people. He's just kind of missing, I think, that area of his game because his ball handling is insane. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's a hell of a player. But I think here's the thing. He's hella strong in some areas, but I think he's really lacking in some areas. So if he were to increase those areas, his growth would be not just like making it in the top 20. I think he would leapfrog a ton of players. He's really good. And I don't know if I mentioned this, Archer, though. I'm really, really high on Archer. Did I already have him in there?
Nope. That'll
Okay,
be
yeah,
20.
that's easy. Yeah, Archer, easily.
So we got 20 from Secret. How about you, Woody?
All right. So, so I know I told you prior to that I didn't have a list drawn up prior, and you know what? In all honesty, the list that I have now is that I kind of took from the stats how I would rate these players, and they're not too far off from what a lot of you said. And actually, Seeker, you're in this list as well, sir.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't have him is because he's not an active player right now. That's it.
That is
Doesn't
true.
matter. Doesn't matter.
He's not an active.
Well, that was not a requirement.
Okay, my bad.
Well,
That was
I'm
not
sorry,
a
I didn't
requirement.
make
You
it-
said top
I'm
10
sorry, I didn't
or
make
top
it-
20.
I said top 20. So I mean, they could have mentioned like players that don't even play anymore that could have been in this conversation to where everybody's like,
Okay, so
who are these people?
Right.
So
top
okay,
20
then
active
no.
players. Then.
Okay, fine. That's fine. That's super easy. I just done. So
It takes me out of
I'm
it.
just kidding.
It's
I'm just
easy.
kidding.
I just want to make sure that was said because Seeker's a hell of a player.
Yes, he is. No,
100%.
y'all already know who my favorite player is. So
Dude, I'm nothing more than a glorified dumpster fire. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
But it's a glorious dumpster fire.
You know what's funny, Seeker, is that you have your wife has to be number one in your list, but
Yeah.
you know hers you don't have to be.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually how it
I'd be
works, right?
surprised if I made the list, to be real.
Exactly,
Yeah,
dude.
He just barely missed.
We're all husbands here. We're definitely not number one on our wife's list, but they have to be number one on ours.
Rules are rules, man.
Yeah, the rules are rules. That's it. Double standard. Okay, so
Rules are rules.
so here it is. So I have Resin. This is not in order in any particular manner, but Resin, Elsif. Boogie Bomb's not playing anymore, is he?
No,
no.
Bron's done. Bron's done.
Bron?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why
All
I
right.
put
All
him
right.
on
All right.
If
So
he was playing, I would have put him on my list.
Yeah.
yeah.
easily. I
Okay. So
agree with
let's move on then. And then Agris. I think Agris is underrated. Let me tell you why. He scores 0.7 goals per game, so he adds value to that team. It's almost a goal per game, which is huge, right?
Which team does he play for again?
XOZ.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
So he's so I think he's underrated because of that. I don't think people look at him a lot.
He pissed Casey off, I think.
Except for Casey's like, what the.
Oh, kills K. I'll let you know, Woody. If Casey's pretty much saying you say Agris and you don't put his name in there, Casey's gonna tilt. Like Casey's gonna go full tilt.
I think I mentioned
Full
3 effing people. I have 17 to go. Holy
No, I'm
shit!
just kidding.
I think we
Like
could
Casey's
do
ready to
Calm
tilt
your-
right now.
Calm your tits,
Here's
Jesus.
Casey's points, though. Here's Casey's point. I think we could do a whole highlight stream of Noxus chewing up Agris. which I have been a part of at least 7
But
minutes
like I
of
said,
that.
this wasn't in any order, so he's not my top
No, no.
3 players.
Okay.
I know. No, I
Holy
understand.
crap.
We're just.
Yeah, so
All right,
Augur's
This
better than
Warren, I'm
Got
not Warren. Just so you know, I'm not. This is not top 3 players or
it.
top.
Yeah, no, it is.
These are just
Augur's
20
better than
people
Augur's.
at random. Holy crap! I'm getting. I gotta put my flame suit
I
on.
believe
Jesus.
Kareem barely missed
Snake. There's another
Snake?
person there
Ooh.
that
Oh, okay.
I think is underrated, but is working his way there. Like he doesn't get a lot of games in, but when he's in, he's very effective, right?
So let me just ask you: is this a top 20 underrated list or
No,
top
no,
20
no, no.
underrated players?
I think top 20. I really do. Like
Okay.
their potential so this is like including potential and everything else, right? I think they are. So we have Pilot, Secret. You're in there, bud. I have Noxus in
Nice.
there. I got Benji. I got Faye.
Oh my god, I didn't say palette.
You're an ass. All right.
I
And then
meant to. I
Yobot?
had it written. I don't know why I didn't.
Yobot's great. He scores half the time. It's amazing. Latex has done a fantastic job. I know he used to be a Sweaty Synergy guy, but he's doing a fantastic job in Blevy. Bleach, of course. Believe it or not, Juski's doing well. I say that's funny. Night
So,
Raid.
are you saying as you're saying these names, you're saying these are the people on your list, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Your top
I
20 guys.
I think these guys are doing a great job. They're just not getting I think they're top 20 material. They're just not getting the love, right? Well, some of them anyway. Yes, Casey, you're on my list. There you are.
Wow. This list is fake. No.
Grievous, Draco-san, and Archer.
Draco.
However, I really feel like I know I didn't mention Lucas, and Lucas should definitely be in the topic as well. And Blank and I really feel like those guys need a shout out too because they're fantastic. But I did have a lot of people in there that were.
Well, you have 2 more spots.
I feel, huh?
No, it's fine. You heard it here first. Casey's actually better than T-Light.
Yeah, you have 2 more slots.
I have
You're
2
already
more
at 18.
Oh shit! Okay. That's including Lucas and Blank in Unreal.
Oh, that's not. So you're saying nope. So you can only pick 1 out of or 2 out of the 3 that you just out of the last 3 you just said.
Okay, so Lucas.
Beasley.
And then Blank. And
That's it.
Delike.
That's it.
All right,
That's 20.
all right.
Nope. No
That's
delight.
fine.
2, 3, 4.
Casey,
5.
you're tripping. Didn't you quit XOZ today?
Again.
Again.
What is it? Is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday or something?
So I will say I am definitely surprised at a couple names, but I mean I think you have a pretty solid list there, Woody.
Hey.
So
I don't like going with the grain. I go against it.
So time for the only list that really matters.
Wow.
This is Night Raid's top 20 list. So again, in no particular order, and so I'm just gonna start going down some of the names, and I'll give you a brief reason why for some of the pilots or some of the pilots. So, first 3 I got, and again the rankings in no particular order. So first 3 I have Pilot, Faye, and Andy. I've been working with these guys and penning with these guys for like little over 4 months now, and I mean these guys are a dominant force. If like. For anybody to think that these guys should not be in the top 20 list, like you're smoking fucking crack. Like I mean, like these guys put in the time. Like if you don't think they're not putting the time, not only last season were they all 10K Valor plus, already they are 10K Valor plus, and I think they are 3 out of those 3 are top 4 in there. So they are putting in the time to make sure that they stay sharp. They are continually improving. And I mean, like, they belong in that list. I also had Noxus in there. I think Noxus. I think Noxus again, phenomenal individual player, and he has done a lot to try to carry XOZ by himself. I think he's starting to get some talent in there. because of his trolling has gone down tremendously. So I think that is attracting newer talents to him. So I definitely got him there.
It's
I have
so hard for me to accept that because didn't he run up the clock against that one team in like last
Right.
week's tournament?
There's Delike. I think Delike is an excellent player as well. A very old
Yep.
school from the time I've spent playing with him or against him or just chatting with him.
Did you mention Pilot yet?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Oh, okay. Casey doesn't think so, but
Yeah. There's Inspiral. Again, I think what he does for being in being in Australia to know, like, playing with that lag differentials, like that takes true skill.
Yep.
I'm curious to
Yep.
know how much lag he actually experienced, though. Like
Oh,
as the caster, I just don't like. I'm not seeing his lag when I watch him.
So you never tried playing the Australian server when it was available?
Oh, it's rough. Like,
yeah. Well, no, that's us trying to play Australia, but going out might be different. Us going there might be bad, but him going elsewhere may not. Right? It depends on how many hops and everything else. So our route there could be very different than his route to wherever.
Right.
I mean, that's theoretically possible if you want to get technically ready.
Well, absolutely. I'm an IT buddy. Let's go, bro.
Oh, IT fight.
Right.
Me.
So I have Bleach as well. Tremendous talent. I think he still hasn't even reached his peak yet. I don't think a lot of these players have yet, but Bleach is definitely in the conversation. Archer, of course. Archer, if you just look at stats alone, like that guy is a beast. But like he is just a monster in the game itself. Or I would have tried to recruit him. There's Draco. I think Draco, like his aim, is phenomenal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like some of the shots that he makes is nuts. There's also, of course, Lucas and Elsa. I think they definitely belong in that they definitely belong in the top 5 conversation. There's Resin. Resin, I have been watching a lot more of his film, and this guy I think is averaging almost 1 goal a game, if I'm not mistaken. Like from the time that he's been playing. Right?
Yeah, no, actually that's like, yeah, he's in the 11 games that he's played. If you want to talk about stats right now, he has 11 games played, 11 goals scored, 112 kills, which is 10 kills per game, and 42 assists. That's 3 assists per game. So just based on that, like he is doing quite well. He's scoring goals. He's killing people. He's putting in the work, right? Like, even if you just base it on kills per game, he is still in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like from just watching, like he has been putting on an amazing show. I also have Billy the Kid in there. I know he doesn't play as often, and he generally only plays in the events. But when he does play in the events, he comes to play. This guy, I think, is the unsung hero for hammers. I mean, this guy does it all: scores, kills, assists. I mean, he's doing it all for them. Benji definitely belongs in that conversation. I think he has an amazing game. I have the Secret. Like his game, like if you guys known Secret from the time that I first met him, to where he couldn't make 1-foot shots, to what he has accomplished now, and then not only that, the way he can teach other people and help them grow, like Secret definitely belongs in that conversation.
But he's not active, so you're wrong.
Who the Secret?
Oh, sorry, Secret.
I'm right here.
Oh.
Right.
Sorry, I heard Secret in the background while I'm doing stuff. My bad. Sorry.
There's Ubiquitous.
Yeah.
This guy, he's brand new, and like I really have to think about him. But the more I watch him and watch his tapes, like this guy's solid. Like, look at his stats. Like, I mean, he's a killing machine. I think with a little bit more ball handling, I think he can definitely be in the top 10 conversation soon. But I mean, this guy fundamentally is sound. Another one I had was Unreal FX. I think he definitely belongs in the conversation. I think he has a high IQ for the game, and just a solid player all around. Wolfcore as well. I think again that's another huge underrated player. Never gets enough attention, I think. But and teams pay for that because they don't pay attention to him enough. I have Blank on the list as well. And one of the reasons why I have him on the list is this guy is very creative with his shots. A lot of the shots that you are seeing now, especially in pubs, this guy probably created.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Like, I mean, he spends the time in the game, and yeah, sometimes he gets temperamental about stuff. I know he and I have been fighting for like 4 or 5 months. Recently, I mean, we've kind of mended things, and we're back on good terms. But I mean, this guy, you can't deny his skill and what he does for battle ball. And then for my 20th spot, I kind of did a split between Guns Blazing and Latex. Guns, that he is a killing machine. I know recently he had just recently came back. He took off like almost like a month and a half, but I can remember from the time when he was with Sweaty Synergy, like this guy is the real deal. I think Firetail definitely got lucky in landing him when he left Sweaty Synergy. But him and Latex would be the guy that I would split that 20th spot with. They play amazingly well together. I think Latex also puts in a lot of time. Also, I just want to say about Latex, I know he's going through a hard time. I just want everybody that knows him, just just send him some words of encouragement, please. I think he would definitely appreciate it from the Armorjet community. So, yeah, that's my top 20 AB list.
Well, apparently none of ours mattered, so it's, I guess, good
No,
job.
it didn't.
Night Raid.
Oh, thanks.
We could have just gone with your list because obviously, ours was a waste of time. I'm sorry.
Well, you're that filler time that we need to fill for the show.
Listen, I'm 100% sure that my name would be on there if I was playing comp.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I tell you what, I will tell you this about Woody. If you haven't seen Woody play lately, like I was joking around with him. I think it was on the chat, right?
Yeah.
On your stream. That like if you watch him, like his game has tremendously improved. I think, and I said it must be the 10 hours a month that I force him to watch Battle Gym all day, right? Because he was like, because Woody's like, I think I want to just go the caster route, and I was like, that's fine. But it was a Jedi mind trick to get him to watch all these hours of Battle Ball, so that way he learns shit.
All the videos that I don't want to watch, I end up forced watching anyway.
Right. I brainwashed them. So yes, you're welcome, Woody.
Listen, Jeff Pack got an amazing taste of my abilities this week, and I literally clipped the crap out of that one game. He got a grenade in the face. I had a couple like amazing shots out of it. It was just gross.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to create the list. As for the audience, I hope you guys enjoyed our list. I'm sorry if you guys are watching and your names did not make it. I also want to honor and mention Juski. Juski, his name never gets mentioned.
I mentioned his name.
Okay, look, listen. So his name rarely gets mentioned in any conversation as a top player. But if you actually look at his stats, like and the stuff that he does for his team, he does a lot. Yes, he doesn't always get the best support around him, but like I think he also needs to be considered in that top 20-25 conversation.
I had just barely missing Yang. I'm really high on Yang. Yeah, I think if he were to spend more time, he could easily be in that list, if not higher.
All right, so I know I didn't ask you guys this before, but Nate, give me 3 players that everybody needs to watch out for that wasn't on your top 20.
Yang is one. Man, you kind of put us on the spot.
You cut out there, so I don't know if you said Yang, and then we missed.
So because Casey wasn't in my top 20, I'm going to say Casey in there easily. Like I said, I've told Casey several times, amazing player, dude. I'm not going to back away from him. But there's just like kind of, there's some areas of improvement that, but he's someone you got to know for sure. Number 3 is my mom. She's really good. She just doesn't play a lot, but she's stuck me a few times on one-on-ones. But yeah, that's it.
Mm.
We're talking about Armajet here, right?
Oh yeah, she's really good.
Just checking.
Everyone should get to know my mom.
How about you, Seeger?
Okay, so people that weren't on my list, I'm having to go back and look at my list just to be sure. Definitely ubiquitous. Like, solid player, good person overall. Definitely somebody to watch out for. Oh man. You don't play enough though.
I know.
And you're not competing.
Oh no, let's go.
Listen, you know what? Icons would already have won a couple of championships if I played. I'm just saying.
I would say probably a bit ubiquitous, Snake, definitely Snake, and probably either Grievous or Eagle. I'm not sure which one of them two, but one of those two.
Okay. How about you, Woody?
Yeah, it's actually like they're literally like next on my list if I had to keep going down. Like I didn't mention Wolfcore or Trumpkin, but you said like people to watch out for. I don't think I said Wolfcore, did I?
Oh, you did not. No, you did not.
No.
You said Yobot.
So if you want people like they're kind of sleeping on, maybe Asian Eagle. You don't want to sleep on that guy. Kermani is another great player. I think the support around him is just not there. Like you see the best out of Kermani in pubs.
I agree.
Right? Like in tournament play, you don't get to see that. He's only been able to play 6 games. It looks like he was more a defender than he was an offense kind of guy. But you don't. I don't think you get the best out of him in tournament play, but you do see it in pubs. So I think Kermani should be in people's on people's lips there about it. And Paul Yang is very good as well.
Yep.
So I have Snake. I think Snake again is probably one of my favorite, most underrated players. He never gets enough credit, I think. Especially for what he does for the team. I think he leads a lot of categories for Fire Tail. Asian Eagle, again, just like you said, this is actually a combo deal, right? Asian Eagle and Grievous. Both those dudes are phenomenal. They're on every day, probably about 5-6 hours a day at minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys put in time.
Yeah, they'll just. I joined in on their chat and in their Discord chat, and then I was just looking for people to squad with. And I thought they were squadding up and things, but no, they were in a custom match talking about choke points, where the ball's coming from, this that. Like they were strategizing the entire time. They're taking this seriously. Like Icons is not a team that people should be sleeping on by any means.
Yes, I've seen their tremendous growth just from the time that I grabbed them from Tops. I believe they were playing with Tops. They weren't really a competitive team. And I was just having a conversation, and I was like, hey, if you guys ever looking to play, competitive, I think you'd be great for us. I think you guys have a high ceiling, and I'm glad I picked them up, and we got them trained up properly. So, Asian Grievous definitely belongs in that conversation.
I think we kind of all mentioning seeing some players. I think the players that you play with really matter because it affects freedom. Like if I don't feel like I have certain, I'll play way different, and it's probably not a good thing.
No, agreed.
But you'll take over different roles. Let's say, for example, that's not what you're best at, if that makes sense. So I think we picked up those two guys. I think obviously when they come over, they got a lot better. Importantly, I think they just gained a lot, which I think a lot of those players too. Obviously I'm not hoping to move anybody around or cause drama, but I mean, this list might look different if things were moved around.
And I already said Juski would probably be that in the 20th, 21st spot, but so I'm not going to mention him again.
They want the cable?
I'm going to say the name I'm going to say is Infinite Zenith.
Oh yeah.
I think Infinite Zenith has been putting in the time. He has the fundamental skills. His ball control has gotten tremendously better. I think it just needs a little bit more refinement, but I think he will definitely be a name that you're gonna have to watch, because his name's gonna be called a lot.
Yeah, I think the thing that we keep saying is that people that are putting in, I think that it gets rewarded.
No, absolutely, and Zaniel too. I think Zaniel has been playing a lot as well. I think his game has truly improved from the time that he was with Onyx to Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
So I think that's another name that definitely belongs in that conversation.
Yeah.
Zaniel, I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the next segment. The next.
I just actually, I just want to give a shout out. It never showed up in my Streamlabs, but on Twitch, I got Rare. I think this is Rono, who gifted Renault gifted a 1 month subscription to our channel to Misty.
Nice.
Yeah, these folks
cool.
are part of our Valorant team, so it's thank you, Renova.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yes, and for anybody that is watching and that does play Valorant, we do have a competitive Valorant team. If you're interested in joining, please do contact myself, Woody, or Juski, or Renov. Renov is the captain / advisor for our Valorant team. So please do message them, and we'll definitely get you guys linked up and see what you can do.
Yeah, and I think before we move on to the next segment here is just call out about our donations for our invitational. We've had some amazing donations so far for it. We had Draven's $500, which then you had to match, sir. I put some money in. We had Fairy Tail drop $50. Zenith dropped another $80 into it. Nice. Just some Zenith dropped 40 in there. So that's been
120, right?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of people that have dropped a bunch of money into this, and just want a big huge shout out to those folks who have. But not only we have surpassed our goal of $800, and we're 150% over that goal with $1,200, but let's make this big. Let's make this huge. So if you guys have the ability to, obviously we're in strange times with COVID, and some people are working, some people aren't. But if you have some money just to kind of toss our way for the invitation, will be great. 100% of the proceeds, 100%. We're actually taking a hit on PayPal side. They're taking a bit of the money. We're going to put our own cash in to make sure that 100% of the money is going back to you guys. $1,200 so far is going back to the community for the probably top 3 for invitational. So, please donate. 100% donations are going into it. Let's keep it going. We're almost there. We got number 8 coming up next week.
Yeah, we got 8, 9, and then it's the invitationals, right?
Yeah,
but
2
yes,
more.
like what he was saying, like it doesn't matter if it's $1, 50 cents. I don't care. Like, I mean, every little bit helps. I'm pretty sure you can go through the crack of your couch and find $1. Like, I mean, let's be real, right? I mean, I know that's how I used to get my ice cream money when I was younger. So, yes. So next topic. Next topic, I definitely want to talk about Seeker. That's why we invited him to our
Yes.
show. Not only because we like him, but because I did definitely want to find out his side of the story on um, why he decided to retire as a player from Armajet, and what he thinks about this current meta and where he thinks this game is going. And of course, there are things that he won't be able to disclose as far as the game itself, but I definitely would like to hear what he can share.
Wow, that's a pretty broad one.
Yeah, where do you start? Where do you start?
Initially, oh man, yeah, I don't even know where to even start because there's so much I can unpack.
All right, so let's start with why you decided to leave as a player.
Okay, so this has been a long time coming, and for various different reasons over the last year. I had to have carpal tunnel surgery back in April of 2019. That was supposed to see the end of my playing career then. That was when I was supposed to stop because it's detrimental to continue to push something after you've had surgery on it. It never works well. But circumstances on Skyrose didn't allow that to happen. They needed bodies. So I continued to play through Coda, and then it just kind of kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing through. We needed six, and I always had to be one of those six, whether it was availability, whether it was a lot of things. But that last event that I played in, what was it? The TPG, well, the battleground, and it was it wasn't the last one, but the one before. It was just astronomically bad for me that day. I have a 500 down, 500 up fiber optic connection directly into my home. My internet is phenomenal on everything that I do. And I work in IT as well, so I always like doing a lot of network analysis to make sure things are going good. And when I see myself having an almost 2 full second ping to EU, and I had 700 MS ping on NA, like, what am I gonna do? Like, that's why
wild.
it was specifically like, if you guys go back and you watch the one where Casey scored on me on District, I went through the ball twice on my screen and couldn't grab the ball.
Wow.
Because it just looked like I just kind of stuck there floating by the goal. I wasn't. And I remember I raged so hard that day. And I know the issues are getting worse. I know why they're getting worse. I don't know what a viable solution to that is. It's hard, man. It's a really hard scenario. And when you put in as much as I have, because I have put in a ridiculous amount of time into this game. A ridiculous amount of time into this game in terms of whether it is trying to help the game get better, video analysis. As a manager, Night Raid, you know the untold hours that go in the background. It was too much. I started Armajet back in the early 1.0. Technically, it wasn't the alpha because that was the friends and family. The original beta that came out, 1.0, as they call it. That was August of 2016. So about 4 years ago. And it was just, anytime you put a long time into something, there has to be a return on that investment. And I was just getting to the point where the amount of return that I was getting from the game wasn't lining up with the amount of effort and time I was having to put in. And at that point, it was just time.
Okay. So, I definitely can understand the frustration of not of devoting so much time into this game, and like it not, I guess, it not pay off for you in a sense of it's not going the way that you kind of see the game going, and it just seems to be getting progressively worse. Because again, I'm only used to playing a couple patches to where you've been here from the go, right? So I mean, I can definitely understand the frustration of being a devoted player and like you can kind of see the game going in a different direction than where the vision originally was. So,
And
uh,
it's even more than just that. I mean, to do something, you have to have fun. Like, we play video games. Like, I work a full-time job. Woody works a full-time job. We both work IT. IT can be stressful, especially these days.
I laugh because it's an understatement.
And you need a reprieve from that. And when it gets to the point where your reprieve is causing you stress,
Yes.
you need to look at a
100%.
different reprieve.
Yep.
yeah.
That,
So,
you know what?
which-
You know what? I think you're. Holy crap, man! I think you just blew my mind a bit because I in IRL, I guess if you want to call it that. Like I played competitive softball for probably the last between 5 to 10 years, and in the last little bit, it's just like you said. It's like you go for it as an escape, and as soon as it becomes not your escape anymore, you start hating it. And it, like, man, thank you for putting that into words, because that's exactly like. And now I'm doing gaming and esports, man, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. So it's my new escape. I'm sure my family loves it. Well, at least I'm in the house. I'm not out.
So again, like I mentioned that you are a part of the, I guess, the development, not the development team, but like the testing and that part of Armor Jack.
I don't think that's ever really officially said,
Right,
but I do help out with things from time to
right.
time. Yes.
So, like with this new game, like let's talk about this new update, right? What do you feel about this new update? What is your personal opinion on it? And then again, as much as you can share, where do you see this game going?
So with this update, I had some major issues with it. I mean, anybody who's talked to me at length about this, the pilot change, I don't feel like it should affect PvP at all. I feel it should affect PvE only, like the survival modes. Fine, I don't care. It makes sense for that. But when you start affecting PvP, and when you start making majority of the best pilots for the predominant competitive mode the most expensive ones to buy, when this game has always touted not being free to play, that did never sat well with me. I understand the rationale behind it. I understand the necessity to do it. I don't question that. But I have a problem with it. And that was something that always sat wrong with me. I was pretty vocal about that with a lot of people. But again, there's necessity to it, and it sucks that it's come to that. But I think it'll work out. Maybe I just overblew it. I will stand. I can accept that maybe I'm going to end up being wrong on this, but I worry whenever a free-to-play game starts adding pay-to-win elements, because I'm willing to imagine that when you look at the top 4 in your invitational, if you count the number of Umekos, if you count the number of Jackals, and you count the number of Rogues compared to anyone else, it is going to be disproportionately higher. Those 3 will be disproportionately higher than anyone else, because anybody that has one of those 3 will play it. Just, they have their specific role, but it's going to happen. So from a viewer standpoint, that actually kind of sucks too, because part of seeing this game live, there's a lot of variety in the pilots. People are playing different skins, people are playing different things, and it's a cool thing to watch. And now you're limiting that. And then when you start adding bans, because inevitably it will happen, now you're limiting that further. So you're only going to be having 1 or 2 cookie cutter heroes. It looks boring.
So what if
And I know
so
that's
so what if we so that being said, so we're used to default, right? We used to, like, every pilot had the exact same stats. So what if you default it to Ramirez, for example?
well,
you
you're
go
assuming
back.
everybody has them.
Ramirez
have
is
to default it to
okay.
Kruger
So
or default
yeah,
to him.
then default to Kruger, whatever. So we default to Kruger. So the very first pilot you possibly can get. We go back to original Armajet. Well, not sorry, original to me anyway, not
Anna would
original to you,
probably
sir.
be a better example of that. Like if you were trying to go back to what the game normally is, Anna's probably a prototype, and Anna
Right.
happened so early on Valor Road. That's probably a viable one. But then if you go down that road, it's bad because now you have all these cosmetics you can't use. And that just feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I see both sides of this argument, and unfortunately, you kind of have to pick a side on it. You can't really play both sides because they're still ideologically different, and that makes it hard because there's no good right answer to this. There just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's,
So where do you
it's
see?
complicated.
So where do you see it? Kind of. Let's say a year from now. Where do you see this game?
Ooh.
This is not a new question to you, by the way. Just
No, it's
saying,
not.
I remember
my
this.
inability to answer that question remains the same. I'll say this.
Can you say whether you favor or not favor? Can you say that?
I will say there are some things that I am extremely excited for, and there are some things that I have some severe trepidation for.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
I absolutely think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I do think it has been a long time since we saw a major balance patch. So I would not be surprised in the next 6 months if something like that happened eventually. I wouldn't be surprised if they added something we didn't expect, because in SBM's history, I won't say Armored, in SBM's history, they've always kind of thrown stuff out of the blue. Like Fuel Frenzy kind of just came out of the blue. Battle Ball just kind of came out of the blue. Survival kind of just came out of the blue. So you never really know when to expect something with them, you know?
Right. No, that's fair. Because I know when I first started, there was only 2 modes: TDM, Fuel Frenzy. Like about a month, almost a month into the game, they introduced the battle ball. I really hated it at first, but then Juicy and Blank was always like, "Oh, battle ball, guys, we gotta play battle ball." And then, sure enough, maybe a week later, they announced the TFL Season 2 tournament, and I was like, "Oh, I guess battle ball it is." So, I mean, like me personally, I think, and I like, I think they are trying their best to try to provide great content for us. And again, this is a business, so they do have to try to make money. Although they do promote the game as free to play. And I do get your sentiment about the game, especially if you're trying to be a competitive team, you're already gonna have to pay a little bit to be able to compete with the top teams. Because just like you said, certain pilots are better for certain modes, and generally the pilots that are better for certain, like the battle ball mode, I would agree, say they are the epic pilots or the legendary pilots that are hard to get, and and I do see it affecting the tournament play to a point, but I think again overall, I think SBM is trying to be innovative in a way to try to bring money without trying to make it 100% pay to play.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, but um, but I definitely see your point. So thank you for sharing as much as you could. I definitely appreciate that. Um,
So
uh,
they, you cannot fault SBM by any means. And again, we don't know as much as maybe Secret does, so I'm going to just speak my opinion on this from a business matter. But you can't blame them for trying to make this a slight play to win, or pay to win rather.
No, not at all.
You can't. And listen, like if they wanted to, they could just shut all the servers down tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And the game's done and they move on with their lives, except for, what actually, who hurts the most is actually the community. This particular podcast is created based on a particular game. If the game does not exist anymore, this does not happen. We do not communicate any further than this. Like, likely, Seeker, unless we're tied into another game or another purpose, you and I are not talking anymore. And same with these guys, or same with anyone else who is related to this game. So it is a massive deal that, and I promote this every single time, buy the packs, do the things to help pay to the developers so that they don't stop developing, and B, they don't shut down the servers. Because you're not, because I'm pretty sure because I can guarantee you're not playing this game in offline mode.
Oh no.
This is not a game that's like, I'm so encapsulated by the play of this. This is no, it's not happening. It's not Plants vs Zombies.
Looking at it, I'm assuming that's Juski running the Twitch.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sure they've talked about it. I can't imagine they haven't. I can't.
I mean, I know. I've had this conversation with Chemo. That last part where they said they should do a battle pass like every other game would generate. Fortunately, I don't have a non-disclosure or any type of thing, so I can really talk about it. But I'm not going to because I think it's a private conversation.
This is the sauna, buddy. You got to get sweaty in here.
I know, but it was a private conversation between Kima and I, I think Kima is a solid dude as a whole, and I do respect that relationship.
There's another sweaty
conversation. I do respect that relationship.
Yeah. I think that was Night Race
getting sweaty with it.
Plugging that he talks to Kima. That's all that was.
Like I'm just gonna let you guys know that I'm a big deal.
If you guys don't know I'm a big deal by now, then you must live under a rock. Right?
If you haven't heard this self-proclaimed big deal, you're living under a rock, 100%.
So
by the
Seeker,
most humble man in the world.
So any chance ever that you'll ever come back as a player? And if there is a chance, what would it take?
No.
No chance. Never, ever.
Not as a player. Especially, I mean, when I'm looking at this, I'm in college now, so I work full time. I'm going to be going to college full time. I have 2 young children. I have family that I have to attend to as well. Like I'm running out of time in a day to try to keep myself into competitive shape. Because I know when I was doing competitive, Braun and I were on every night playing 4 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
Like that's what it took. And like
how'd Mrs. Seeker feel about that?
I'm trying to remember what this 168 hours in a week. 168 hours in a week, and I spent 24 of it doing nothing but practicing all the time. Like that's a good chunk. Over a day of the 7 is spent just playing. I mean,
that's one whole day. That's one whole day out of the week.
And I don't have that time anymore. I don't. Plus,
so what you need to do is dedicate 24 hours in a row.
Not in a row. Oh yeah.
I have done a 12-hour stream once, and that was horrible.
Any chance that you'll ever come back streaming? Because I know you used to stream.
Maybe. Our computer kind of took a dump. Like right now, we picked up Surfaces for school, so I'm doing this on a Surface.
Oh, nice.
I don't think a Surface is really going to have the capability to run OBS. Not graphics-wise, at least. Like I have an i7 in it with 16 gigs of RAM, so I know processor-wise and.
Oh, is it the 7? Is it the 7 Pro?
It's the 5 Pro.
Oh, it's the 5 Pro. Okay. Yeah, no.
I got it. No. I ended up graphics-wise, it's got the Iris 640, which can run basic gaming, but not streaming. I don't think. I haven't tested it.
I think if you're only streaming, I think that's fine. Like you're doing what we're doing right now. I think you're.
Well, I mean, I can play Overwatch on it on Max and be okay.
Oh, that's not bad then.
Yeah. So I know that in the promo, the tweets that I've been sending out, I know that I said I had a couple surprises or a few surprises today for the show. The first surprise again was our sponsor, Sweaty Synergy Esports, getting our first sponsor. Again, big shout outs to Epic Esports Live. Definitely give them a follow on Twitter and Twitch on Epic Esports Live. Second and third one, I definitely like to go ahead and reveal it now. I want to welcome the Seekers to officially. The Seekers have officially joined Sweaty Synergy Esports.
Family,
huge.
our family.
Yes, our family.
Welcome.
Like this is huge for us. Yes. Wifey will be joining us as our social media and community manager. I think she has a ton of experience. I remember her doing the Sky Rose part of it, and she's always there supporting, reaching out to the community. And I thought she did a fantastic job with it. She's also actually, you said that she's going back to school, and she's going back to school for business management and in that field. So I think that was just perfect. Like we definitely needed somebody to fill that role, and I'm just glad that we could find somebody as talented as her. Seeker himself will be joining us as the Chief Operating Officer. He will first start out with his first project as overseeing the Armajet department. I know myself, as much as I love this game, I do. Sweaty Synergy Esports is about to blow up, and we are definitely trying to dive down into Valorant. We're gonna get into a couple MOBAs here, especially Wild Rift, LOL, when it comes out. There's a lot of things that's getting ready to happen for us to where my attention needs to be diverted a little bit away from Armajet, and for me to find even a better person than I am for the job, I would say, as far as the Armajet department goes. Like for me to land you, Seeker, like it was huge for me. It's huge for the SSC family, and like we are so happy that you decided to join us.
And grateful, 100% grateful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For yeah. So I am excited to be working with you officially, because I know we've worked together a little bit, just like brainstorming stuff. But for us to officially be in the same family, to officially be working together, like I am thrilled. So
Definitely
yes.
a no pressure situation after all that speech. Jeez, man.
Yes. So yes, I'm gonna give you guys some time for you and your wife to
is she jumping on?
I mean,
Do we get to hear?
She's literally across the way from me right here.
Well, she can hear us on stream. She could. You have an amazing internet connection, so she could hear us on stream live. So
yeah, like I think there's like a 1 or 2 second lag on it.
I hear you, but then I hear you talking, and it's like catching up to it, and it's just surround sound and awkward.
But it's surround sound.
So she
That's
has a headphone
good.
in now, so she can actually, she can hear you talking live now.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi. So what is your official name? Is it Mrs. Seeker, or what would you like to be known as?
It kind of varies. Like my actual name is Stephanie. It's okay.
Hi,
Everybody
Stephanie.
knows that. I'm sure you guys have seen the Skyrose guys call me mom. And then my gamer tag is wifey, but some people can't do that because it gets them in trouble with
Yeah,
their
That's amazing. That's amazing.
We had a friend in England that we sent a bunch of stickers to because we used to be a big part of the Vainglory community.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of old materials from that. So we sent extra stuff that we had to him, but she put wifey on the label, and we had to explain to his wife what was actually going on.
He messaged me when he got the envelope, and he's like, "Hey, thank you," but my wife wasn't too thrilled, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's okay. I explained it to her. She was totally cool. She was just like, "Who the hell is wifey?"
I think it might be easier just to go with like home wrecker.
Yeah, right? That's amazing. That's amazing. God damn, I wish there was like an equivalent for men. I'd want to change my name to that. Like that's a like my name is now your husband is cheating on you. That's it. That's it. I don't care how long it is. I'm gonna change my Twitch tomorrow, or Twitch, and my Twitter tomorrow is your husband is cheating on you, and that's it. That's. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh, great. That's amazing. Well, you know what? I'm the one who wrote it on the chat there, but as much as you are joining our family, you're also inviting us into your family. So, we're hugely excited about this. And thank you very much for joining us. It's great. It's an honor because you've been around for so long, and we're really new. If you think about in esports world, it's only 3 months or so that we became official. And then I think it was like March 16th. I think is our actual official. We became a corporation, and then to now. And just with Armajet alone, like Nightreed said, we're looking at other different platforms such as Valorant or other MOBAs that are out there. Warzone's an option too. I tend to play that sometimes. Actually, I haven't played the new one yet, the Chapter 4. So, but thank you very much for joining us. I don't know where Nightreed decided to jump off to. His camera
I'm here.
off. Oh, okay. You're just camera off.
Yeah. He's just hiding.
But yeah.
Yes. No, absolutely. And Seeker, anything that you want to share?
I mean, you and I have been talking about this probably longer than everything went down with Skyrose. Like you tried to bring me over quite a while ago. But the circumstances just kind of worked out. Things are working out, and I see where you guys are headed. I see where you guys are now, and I think this organization has a bright future. It was definitely something that I was a little apprehensive about going into esports in general, because time was always going to be something I was kind of scared about. Time is precious. As you get older, you learn just how much you really appreciate your time, because other commitments pull more and more away from you. But this is definitely something I wanted to do, and I think it's going to be a great fit for everybody. I hope so, at least. I just hope I can live up to the expectations that you put on me, because, good lord, like, I'm having anxiety attacks just thinking about that speech leading into it. Like,
he's been shaking his legs since you said something.
Quite literally having anxiety attacks about this.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, so I know. So I'll say this, right? So I know that when I first approached you about joining, you said that Firetail approached you like hours ahead of me, right? Literally hours ahead of me, and I was like, frick! If Firetail beats me to another Skyrose person, like I'm going to lose my shit, right? Like, I mean, I was just like, I can't believe Firetail, like. I was so pissed, right? And not saying I love Firetail. Like, I mean, they are a class act. I mean, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I love those guys. I've worked with them a lot.
Yes. I think they're a class act. Odds and I get along famously. Actually, he lives like 45 minutes away from me, and we found out. So we're actually gonna go out and meet one day, and probably grab a couple brews and just chat, because I mean.
Nice.
Especially if we meet, let's say, halfway, that's like 20 minutes each way for us. So so yes, but yes, I was just like, I can't believe Firetail is going after another candidate that I really, really want. And like, I was so pissed when I heard that. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? If I can pitch it right, I think I can get him. So I remember talking to Woody and Juicy about it, saying, all right, I put the proposal out there to Seeker, and he said he's gonna need some time, but I think I can reel him in. And I told him I told just like I had the conversation with you, Seeker. I told you I will fly out to California to come get you.
Yes, you did.
I'll grab you by the ear and I will drag you back.
Well, he told me that he was approached by this person and that person, and he was kind of mulling it over. And I told him, you do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. but just don't rush any decisions because of everything, needing to settle down before you jump right back into something,
Yeah. Yeah.
And you told me that you had said, I'll fly out. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And then we talked yesterday and you're like, I'll fly over there. I was like, oh shit, he was real. he wasn't joking.
I mean, I have nothing to do all day except, of course, play with my kids and try to run an esports company. And I could.
Listen, I would have thrown you a few $100 to help out to get him out
Right.
there.
So we are so excited to have you part of the family, and again for letting like Woody said, for letting us be a part of yours. And I know this is just like I said, you and I think so similarly. Like I know this is gonna work. I know. So Woody, you heard that right? You got Night Ray ×2 now.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
I have more secrets now.
Right.
No, I don't. No, that's not true. It's not ×2. It's ×3 because the wife is always behind the man.
Oh, but
Oh.
very different.
But we're different, but we complement each other. But I'm not on the same level as him by any means. Not even close.
Just take the compliment. Take the compliment. Just take it.
Yes. So again, folks, if you missed it, Wifey aka or Stephanie aka Wifey will be joining us as our social media and community manager. Seeker will be joining us as our new COO. This was a huge week for us in Squiddy Synergy Esports. I mean, for 3 months, for us to achieve getting a sponsor, finding the right people to start taking over certain responsibilities, so that way us as a company can continually grow. Like this is huge. So thank you to the viewers for continuing to watch us during the Sauna podcast, the Battle Gems. And supporting us in the community, donating your hard-earned money so that way we can have the biggest Armajet tournament in history.
100%.
That's huge, right? And
it's not even double. It's not even double. It's
over
double.
Right.
It's more than double.
Yeah, it's more than double.
It's 2.5 almost. So we have been able to achieve so much in a short period of time, and we haven't even this is still phase 1 for us. This is still phase 1, and I'm so excited to get ready to start trying to get into phase 2. I don't know what to say except
tell
let's
us how you
fucking
really
go.
feel.
Let's fucking go. That's what I gotta say.
Listen,
So,
and just what you're saying though is, although there's a lot of people watching here who are not Sweaty Synergy members, but we're all an Armajet family, right? So you being a part of Armajet, help promoting the Battle Gym and making it bigger is actually helping you guys out, because you're gonna we're helping Armajet, SMB or SBM, sorry, SBM. SBM, thank you. I had to remember the logo and which way it goes. SBM. We're helping SBM by creating competitive content and an environment and a community. You guys being a part of it, this helps everything. So, you know what? Let's make this big. Let's make this huge. Because you know what? I can guarantee you the Invitational Part 2, or whatever we decide to call it, a year from now, is going to be even bigger. Whatever the number you say it is now, it's going to be double. I'll predict that now. 100% double. If not bigger. So,
and if not, Woody's will cover the difference.
I guess I'll have to cover the difference. Do not clip this.
Like a promise.
I
That's
do not.
Clip it. Hey, clip it. Clip it.
God. So I'm gonna claim bankruptcy. Right. No, I'm kidding. 100%. If yeah, I'll double it. I'll double it. Clip it. I'll double it.
Clip it.
Fuck. By the way, I'm gonna get divorced just because of this comment. Yep, my wife just said I could hear you. I don't know if you heard that on the mic. It's very sensitive.
That's awesome.
Shit.
But
Okay, so let's
The
make
last-
this the. Okay, we do not need to make it any more than $1,200. I'm just saying. Let's keep it at 1,200. No one needs to donate. I'm not never mentioning it again. No more.
No more.
Once
Woody's
it's in the
gonna-
internet, Woody, it's a little too late. It's out there.
Woody's gonna disappear.
Yeah, my camera's gone. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having camera problems.
But yes.
Oh no.
It's all good. Anyways, that's actually the end of our show for this evening. We're glad that you got to join us today. Secret, if you'd like to go ahead and plug it again one more time for
Our
Epic
sponsors.
Esports Live. Yes, our sponsors.
Yeah, so if you guys could be really appreciated. Like I said, our first episode is not till July 19th, so we have a lot of time to prep and stuff. But what we're doing is we're bringing the power back to the viewers, and more importantly, we're also bringing the power back to streamers. So if you guys want to show your support, obviously we'd love to have you guys a part of that journey. Go ahead and go to Epic Esports Live on our Twitch. That would be really appreciated. Just go ahead and give us a follow. If you don't have a Twitch and you still want to show support, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. It's going to be the same handle. It's going to be Epic Esports Live.
Awesome. And then Seeker and Wifey, if you guys want to say anything before to sign off.
Yeah, throw some shoutouts for your stream or Twitch. Get her done.
I'm
Yes,
still
absolutely.
waiting to be number 1 on that list. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, girl. I'm not even on that list, and I play it.
I got a couch for you, Seeker.
Thank God we have a futon in the front.
There you go.
But no, I'm just more than anything, man. We're just really looking forward to this. Definitely going to be some time transitioning in. Anytime you go somewhere new, there's that little bubble of time. But I'm looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of good things about you guys, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And Woody, anything you want to sign off with, sir?
100%. As you know, I stream kind of bit of a variety streamer, but I do half and half with Armajet and Valorant right now. So W0DDY7 is my Twitch. My Twitter is W00DY7_TTV. Hit me up, follow me, come hang out. I have a lot of fun. Best nades in the game. 100% guaranteed a nade per game in someone's face, and it's going to be phenomenal. It ends up being a highlight reel. My YouTube channel, I'm not cool enough yet to have my own personal link, but you'll find it. Hook me up. 1 minute nades. That's all it takes. 1 minute, have a look, have some fun, like, follow, subscribe, do all that fun shit. Come check me out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the King of Nades bottom
Actually,
flag. All right.
the king of nades. Listen, Night Raid loves my comments. Like, boom, suck it. Like, suck
I
on
love
that. He loves it. So if you enjoy that type of content, come check me out. I'm a lot of fun.
And then yeah, if you guys haven't followed me yet, again, I am at on Twitch at NightRaidX81. Don't forget to stop by our Sweaty Synergy Esports on YouTube. Please do give us a subscribe or a like. It is free. You know, it doesn't cost you guys anything to hit that subscribe button or that like button. It just helps us grow in presence in the community, so that way we can bring you better content.
100%. And just about our YouTube channel, just want to let you know that you get 100% all the recaps of majority. Unfortunately, we couldn't capture all of A, the sauna, or B, the battle gyms, but it's going to be going on this time forward. So if you want to check out some video, 100%, check out our YouTube. All our latest content will be up there.
Nice.
So awesome. So thank you guys again for watching this evening. Hope you enjoyed our podcast. Again, we're on every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget to check us out. Turn that Twitch alert on so that way you know when we're streaming live. And you guys have a great night.
Awesome.
Take care, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.